The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the host and guest and do not reflect the opinions or policies of the station, its owners, or its advertisers. All content should be considered editorial in nature. Listener discretion is advised.
Well, so moving out of the holidays, our church does 21 days of like prayer. And so we're right in the midst of that right now. Every night, log building, 6 o'clock for the next week. We will conclude this upcoming Sunday. And then, man, this past Sunday at church, we did our first ministry training school graduation that we've done in probably 15, 20 years. We graduated 15 students and full cap, gown, pomp, circumstance, marching in, marching out, whole 9 yards. It was a really, really great, great event. Check out the pictures on Facebook and the video reels because they really did a great job.
I think we need to make a note to our producer, Jim. He needs to go ahead and make a note and share that.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to make a note to share that.
Remind somebody to remind somebody to tell them to do that. Yeah,
right.
There you go.
Preparing to move out. So I attended the same. I went to the Government Relations Committee newly elected reception last
what
Tuesday.
I did. I forgot what I did.
I
went to Washington. No, I went to Washington and protested. Oh my God, I forgot. I protested on the stairs of the Supreme Court.
Oh wow.
Yes, for keeping boys out of girls' sports.
That's crazy. It's crazy that has to be an issue.
It is, and I forgot that I even went. Holy smoke! It's been that long. It was the illness that made my brain fart.
Yeah,
okay.
Right. Well, you had a little bit of trouble on that trip. It was a bus you took.
Okay.
And
so
what happened was,
so we took a boat. We drove up to Youngsville, and we got on a bus and we rode to Washington. That was all great. Okay. And then on our way home, they started pushing back the bus. We're going to meet at 2:30. No, we're going to meet at 3:30. Now we're going to meet at 4 o'clock. So we get on the bus and we start driving. We're 45 minutes down the road, and guess what? The bus breaks down.
Oh yeah.
So 2.5 hours later, lo and behold, we get another bus. It takes us an hour to decide how we're going to, on the side of the freeway, transfer from one bus to the next bus.
Of course.
Because they want us to be safe. Okay. So get back all comfortable, whatever, drive down the road another hour and a half. And I hear, boom, 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 what the hell? Another bus.
Oh,
lo and behold, the bus 12:15 or something like that. I made it from Youngsville, which is an hour and 42 minutes. I was home at 2:45.
Wow.
I drove There might be a sheriff candidate here, and I might have driven 105 miles an hour all the way home. I was so dead dog tired, but I'm not admitting that.
Yeah. No.
If you didn't see it, it didn't happen.
Didn't happen. So, all right. So, myself, GRC reception for newly electeds. Then I went to the builder and realtor reception on Thursday. More of our elected officials showed up there. The ones that are newly elected to city council. The rest was just academics. Tried to make some money, show some property.
Yeah, that's good.
I will say that you did do a good job around here, throwing stuff away and cleaning stuff out. I had it off to you.
You as a supervisor glaring down at me. She is taller than me, so everybody's taller than me. But we all know that. Yeah.
Have you used it? Do you need it? No. Look, chunk it.
I think I did pretty well.
You did well, and I even said I did tell you that I was very happy.
You do that emotional intelligence. That's why we keep you around.
I'm glad I'm good for something.
Mrs. Orozco, what were you up to last week?
Well, I went to work. I worked.
What, you got to pay bills and stuff? I thought you campaigny people. It just,
they pay you to campaign.
I worked on my campaign. I attended a District 8 meeting where our new city councilman brought us together and introduced us to each other. People from different neighborhoods came.
Okay.
And,
who's your District 8 representative?
I have Sean McMillan.
Oh, great.
Absolutely. And so we met people from different areas in the district and put our heads, it was an introduction.
Okay.
So I did that. And on my campaign.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a full-time job. That is a full-time job.
It's a full-time job if you take it seriously.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, if you actually can.
Absolutely.
And I have a lot of people that come up to me or will ask me, well, what district do I have to live in? So this morning I was up about 3 and I was working on an article to address that so that, and I'll work on a video for that also because some people like to read, some people like to watch. So I'm constantly reminding them that it's not like the legislature. It's not like city council, county commissioners. You live in Cumberland County. You're registered to vote. You get to vote.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no district for district court as a jurisdictional limits
Mhm.
issue. So that I was working on that.
And that was some topic of discussion last week or week before, I think, talking about trying to separate. I think when Sherry Miller was here, what's a district court? What's a superior court? How does this impact people's lives? At what point would you be in these different courts? So I think that is kind of a focus this year for me here is we want to talk about the judicial.
And educate the public.
Myself included.
I don't
understand how everything works.
I understand how it works in the city, but I don't know how it works with judges.
Right. I prefer to not know. I don't want to know about the courts. I'm just going to keep in my lane.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about something we have seen in the last week. So our trusty John Locke Foundation gives us an idea, and we decided to discuss, there was 2 rule breakers last week in North Carolina. You had about 700 teachers that walked out.
Oh, wow.
But you got a legislature that still hasn't passed a budget since 24, I think now, because it was all 25. We didn't have a budget. Now we're going into OT. But the only people that got vilified
were the teachers.
That's right. I mean, so can they go on strike?
No. It's against the law for them to actually go on strike or stop or have a work stoppage.
Okay.
So, but it's not against the law for the people that we've elected to represent us to go back to their districts without having done the one job that they're supposed to do, which is a budget.
I mean, I'd like to dangle their pay over that, but I think over the 13,000, a lot of them will say, "Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't want to pass a budget."
They get more than 13,000. That's just their base. They get different things.
I'm not talking about the lobbyist money. I'm talking about just straight salary.
Yeah. They'll just survive without that extra 13. Yes. Because the other people will give them money.
So, the teachers, they do have free speech rights. The NCAE, North Carolina Association for Educators, they are not a union. That is something that I think is a good distinction. They are a trade organization.
Right.
That's how they get around North Carolina law.
Okay.
Now, the way they function is as a union.
Yeah.
But now look, we have how many thousand teachers in North Carolina?
There's almost 100. There's 92,000. They varies between 92,000 and 100,000. So less than 1% actually walked off the job.
So
were they centered somewhere? I mean, was there like a specific county that
they said
organized
across the entire state?
Okay. We couldn't really get into it, but I have a friend who's a teacher, and she said she did not walk out for fear of reprisal. Yeah. I mean, if you're already on the principal's naughty list, you don't want to be leaving your class in the middle of the day.
Right.
God knows they get in enough trouble when you're in the room.
Yeah.
So, but this is a pleading or a request. Please, North Carolina legislature, let's pass a budget.
No, I think it is absolutely a pleading. It's not a request. It's like, look, give us some help here. We're drowning.
Well, think about so we always talk about you were saying the police, fire, and
teachers. I think that they are the least paid. Did this to me? Okay. So children are our future. That's a song, I think, whatever. But they are an asset to us. They are our most precious commodity.
Mm-hmm.
Why are our teachers one of the lowest paid employees of the state? That's ridiculous. Well, they should be some of the highest paid, in my personal opinion.
To mention another song, we hurt the ones we love.
Yeah.
Well,
there's got to be a song about that someplace. Yeah. But I also think it's that the government keeps police, fire, and teachers beholden to them, and then they get used as a political damn football, whether it's Republican or Democrat.
Yeah.
I'm going to help the teachers. Well, this year, our Republican-led legislature did not help the teachers by not passing a budget, but they did have an increase in their insurance. So if the teacher made $100 a year, but now he's got to spend $30 instead of $20 on insurance, he just took a $10 pay cut.
Yeah.
So I mean, they make more than $100.
And if you think about it, the teachers these days, they're spending their own money to help get crayons and all this other stuff.
They spend so much of their own money for classroom expenses.
Are you telling me that you as legislature, what is it that you're doing in Raleigh that you don't have time to pass a budget? Stay there. You should sleep there. You should not be able to go home until you do your job. I know that if I have a job to do, I'll stay up till like this woman right here was up at 3:00 in the morning doing her job.
Well, that takes dedication right there.
But these are our representatives. Represent us. Go.
Yeah.
Go back up there and represent us.
What's the hang up with the budget? As far as, I mean, are they just not able to agree? Because
you can't get a clear answer, and it's frankly, I think it just comes down to partisan brinksmanship. and BS on both sides. I mean, you had the Republican caucus not wanting to pass it because they don't want to cave on certain things.
Okay.
And you have the Democratic caucus holding, press conference to talking about what I said about the teachers taking a pay cut. They're both screwing around with people's lives.
Yeah.
And at this point, they just need to move forward. They're using, what is it, the temporary, the continuing resolutions or whatever. But that only takes care of previous year's budget.
So it just kind of, it's like standard for last year is maintained through this, no new money. Yeah. Which, I mean, let's face it, inflation and the cost of living, these no new money is a big deal.
Yep.
Right. So what was the other
unwelcome visitors?
Yeah, unwelcome guests in our primaries. So so North Carolina, we have an open primary process. So if you're unaffiliated, you can go and you can say, I want to, if you're unaffiliated, you can say, I want a Republican or a Democrat ballot.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we got are, what was it?
Seven actually.
Seven
that we're aware of.
Districts that people filed. They were Democrats, lifelong or long time. 90 days before filing, they changed their party to Republican.
Oh, wow.
See, I was hoping that they saw the light and realized that the left, if in 1960, if you were a Democrat back then, if you did a time machine and came back right now, you would be a Republican.
Yeah.
Where if you were a Democrat now and you get put back into the 1960s, you be institutionalized because you're crazy, thinking boys are girls and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Nationally, or the loud ones.
This is
not
very fresh and raw for Laura because she went and protested last week. So that's right. That's what that's about.
But, well, and we will say that I had women, I don't understand. If you have a child, how could you want a boy competing against a girl? Yeah. It's not fair.
That sounds legit. I mean, if you're like a 6'2" dude playing volleyball against a 4'8" young lady, you could spike the hell out of that ball.
Then just agree to have co-ed teams, a girl team and a boy team.
Yeah.
That takes care of everybody, because I want everybody to compete. I don't want anybody to be alienated or not have a chance to do something. Have a co-ed team, a boys team and a girls team. Takes care of everybody.
Well, let's get back to the interlopers, we'll call them. So let's talk about geographically where these districts were. So we had one up near Granville County, north of Raleigh.
Okay.
Then there was North Raleigh above the Beltline. Then there was another one in Davidson County.
Yeah, so that's Charlotte, right?
Yeah, Davidson, that area. Then Newton County, which is in the mountains. Southeast Charlotte. So outside of Charlotte, but southeast of the city. And then south of Asheville.
Yeah.
And Durham County. So
some of them are Democrat. I think they're just trying to make Republicans spend money where they don't need to.
Yeah. I mean, look, maybe they need to be challenged. That's another thing we've had feedback too. We've had certain candidates on the show where we were told, how dare they, because they're running against an incumbent. Okay, well, you don't have your name on the seat.
Yeah.
Right.
So
everybody should be able to, actually.
Okay,
and if we're not able to, at this point, if we're not able to pass a budget, I'm like, look, come on. Like you said, do your job.
If you're not doing your job, then you should not be surprised that you're being primaried.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
As punishment.
Well, I still blame, so the solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Is it we don't have good candidates, or we're not recruiting anybody good?
Well, it's not the GOP's job to recruit candidates. It's up to the candidates.
Is it the DNC's job to recruit candidates?
It is not up to the DNC's job. I don't know. I'm not a Democrat, but I will say that traditionally the party's job is to inform voters, to turn out the vote, and to help spread the word about who the viable candidates are.
Okay.
Now, that being said, we at the GOP cannot interfere when there's primaries, which I don't necessarily agree with. If you have a good candidate and a bad candidate, you should be able to
say, hey, this is the one
we should be able to self-police.
Yeah.
Say, no, this person sucks. We don't want him.
I think so too, because I think we look ridiculous when you get a bad candidate.
We wanted to do that in the past. But...
Yeah. Well, I have, and I got in trouble, but it's okay. So I mentioned earlier before the show, up north, like Connecticut and places like that, seems to have more of a party machine.
Right.
Where if you don't go to the party first, then you won't get on the ballot. Here, any Yahoo,
anybody,
even a felon, even a felon, as long as you disclose it, can run for office.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily, well, anybody can run, but I don't think that the GOP or the DNC should stand behind piss poor candidates. My personal opinion. I think that you should go before, because you want to represent the Republican Party or you want to represent the Democrat Party. We, as Republicans, because I am a Republican, no secret, are putting our name behind you.
Right.
If you're a crap candidate, I'm embarrassed.
So
I think we should have a pledge. I think you should have a checklist done at the state level said, if you don't have felonies within, like, I would say 6 or 8 years, if you've served your time, then I want you to do whatever you want to do. But you agree with the party platform, not specifically, I'm going to vote this way, that way, or whatever, but you agree with our platform and you swear an oath to that, or you agree to be censured.
So would that be to say that the party would have the right to determine who could run as a quote unquote Republican?
No, you can run as a Republican, but we as the GOP are not going to have you on our slate card, or we're not going to promote your material or whatever.
I think if you want us to participate and put our name there, or whoever, if you want the party to put their name there, then here's 5 things you got to say you're going to do.
That's right.
Or that you agree with, or whatever.
You can be a Republican and run.
I'm not opposed to the party saying, hey, you can't run on our ticket because you don't have your track record is not. I'm not opposed to that.
Well, I don't want to stifle anybody's opportunity to run for anything. They could do whatever they want, but don't let the GOP have to back you or put your name on our slate or whatever. If you haven't met this criteria.
Take the support for granted.
Well, and I think
just because they check a box at Board of Elections.
Yeah. So I think anybody, if you have an individual who they can run independent, it's like if the DNC or the GOP say, hey, we don't want you on our ticket, then just run independent.
But it should be a non-personality based checklist. You have to do A, B, C, and D, because there's a lot of backbiting and personality conflicts.
I think I would be good at deciding who should run.
Oh, no.
That should be my job.
Here's the clear standards. Take your personalities out of it. Do you meet these standards? If you do, there you go. That's it.
All right. Well, I think I'm about ready for some good news. So
it's about time. We've missed it for weeks.
Let's roll the intro and let's welcome back Pastor Josh.
Since 2012, Joshua Goodman has been the senior pastor at the Cliffdale Christian Center, a dynamic church and ministry located in West Fayetteville. Join our friend Pastor Goodman for a podcast or a live sermon in person at 6427 Cliffdale Road. Now for today's good news. Here is Joshua Goodman.
Well, greetings, friends, from the All-American City. This is Pastor Josh. In a time when so many want to discuss, unpack, talk about all the circumstances, situations, all the negative junk, I'm here to give you some good news. Friends, are you ready for it today? This is it. Jesus loves you. He loves you. There is nothing you have done, are doing, or will do that will disqualify you from His love. There's no circumstance, there's no situation, no problem that you will face that will keep you away, keep you apart from His love. And I've got some great news for you. There's nothing you can do that's going to surprise Him. He knows every mistake you have made, are making, or ever will make. And guess what? He loves you. James writes in James chapter 1 that, we're going to face trials and circumstances, but not to begrudge those trials, because those trials will create patience, they'll create hope, and will make you a better person. Now, listen, when you're facing the challenges, the trials, the situations, it's really hard to raise your hands and say, I love you, Lord. And during those times, you need to know He still loves you. You may not believe in Him, you may not trust Him, you may not have hope or faith in Him, but He believes in you. Paul, writing to the church at Rome, says that there is nothing that can separate you from the love of God, not height and not depth, not principalities, not powers, not things present, things in the past, things that will come. There is nothing that can separate you from the love that God has for you in Christ Jesus. So I know for many, perhaps you're joining us and you're going through a dark time. You're going through a hard time. You're going through a time when it is hard to have faith. Now, let me encourage you in this, because faith is one of the byproducts of hope. So if we can have hope, that can grow into faith. And hope is a byproduct of trust. And if you can have trust, that will grow into hope. That hope will grow into faith. That faith will grow into action. So What can you face that will keep you from trusting God? Today, my friend, I hope that answer is, well, nothing. Nothing will keep me from trusting God. Because why? Because why? Because why? Because I know He loves me. And if everything breaks down, if mountains crash into the sea, I know He loves me. And that I can trust. And because I trust that, it brings hope. Because I have hope in that, brings faith. And so if nothing else, friends, trust today that Jesus loves you. This is Pastor Josh, and that is your good news.
Good news indeed.
Hey, there it is. I'm for you, boy.
Back, Pastor Josh, your favorite intro. So, time to turn directly to our guest, Mr. Ray.
Dun.
Goodness. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. So, tell us about yourself and where you've been, what you've been up to the last 5, 10, 15, 100, 50 years, whatever. Go ahead.
How old do you think she is?
I didn't. 20. That wasn't a dig on the age.
It's 25.
What has she been up to? The floor is yours, man.
I told my son to go to school and tell all of his friends I'm 70.
Okay.
I gotta look good for myself.
You are on the 60th.
I have, it's funny because people will call me, they'll ask, what's a good time to call you?
And I never answer unknown numbers. Never.
What's a good time to call you? If I can't answer, I'll call you back. I can't say what's a good time because I'm always working. And when I was in private practice, I'd be up at 2 and 3 in the morning researching and sending stuff to colleagues. We could try this. We could use this.
And then they're like, look at the timestamp.
Exactly. And then, and I do that still because I just love it. I love researching. I love learning new things and trying new things. You know, I told somebody that I don't believe in the box because I don't think outside the box. No box for me. Thank you. And so really that's it. Spending time with my family, spending time with my husband. I like that guy.
He seems all right. He's got to support you. He's got
I like him.
You know,
he gets on my last nerve sometimes, and I get on his last nerve.
That's part of marriage.
I really like that guy.
Allegedly, that's what I hear about marriage.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that it's funny because we were talking. My son had that, and I said, love is not a feeling; it's choosing that person every day, regardless of how you feel about them that day. It's choosing them. So you're lucky you choose him every day, and he chooses you.
Yeah.
I told my son, I'm a 15-year-old. And
no, so you had him when you were 10?
We had a 30, a 26, and our 15-year-old that we grafted in to our family. And, I told him, love is a burden. It's not happy all the time. Work.
It is.
Love is action. Even sometimes when you don't feel like it, like you said, you do it because it's what's required and so forth. And that's what we do. So I work. I sometimes, because I work from home on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then I telework on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then I mostly drive into Raleigh on Tuesdays and Thursdays because that's where I work. And it's difficult on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays because I'm at home. And I feel like, I've got to cook for my family. My husband will come home and he'll cook too. But then when I have my lunch break, that I'll use my time at that point to cook for the family, get back to work on the campaign, because it's just, I don't know, it's just what I do.
Right.
I think I've been working since I was 6. If it wasn't 6, it was 5. No, I'm serious. My mother, I'm a 1973 model, okay?
Hey, girl, 73, baby.
Still Gen X, baby. You're in the right room.
What?
I'm still the oldest person in the room. Thank you very much. But anyway.
When I remember my mother going somewhere with a friend of hers, and the girl left her baby. And I just remember this baby crying the whole time. And then she came back and she gave me a silver dollar. Remember those? Yeah. So I was like, I just got paid for babysitting. So that's why I say I've been working since I was 6.
Nice.
So you're a hotshot lawyer that now you jack of all trades. You still cook for your family. You're not above that. I like it. Okay.
That's my husband, actually.
And you got him in?
Well, that's what I want to hear. Tell me a little bit about your history. What's your background? You're a veteran. Go ahead. Hit me.
I was a cook in the Army. And that's where I met my husband. And then eventually we came here.
Were you stationed here?
My husband was stationed here.
Okay.
And I followed him here, actually, because I ended up getting out of the military at some difficulties and trauma. Emotion. There's a reason why I try to have mental health and anxieties at the forefront of when I'm speaking about how I believe we should consider one another.
Yes.
And so based on those interactions, I broke my arm early on. I remember having to do push-ups on my broken arm.
Oh,
There's different things.
yeah.
Different things. And but at the same time, having that camaraderie with my battle buddies, as we would call each other, and working and serving. And then I came here after I'd gotten out of the military, and my husband and I were married. And then I went to school through the military,
Okay.
as a service member or
Yeah.
a dependent at that time. I could go to school on post, but through FTCC. I was in FTCC. I took a class, Fayetteville State. It was terrible. It's chemistry. I'm not a chemist. And continued on through school. I was always working or going to school, whichever. And then eventually I got my undergrad degree when we moved to New York. I finished at Mount St. Mary College there. And I was supposed to have finished like maybe 6 weeks sooner, but I had my daughter the day before one of our semesters were supposed to start.
Oh, wow.
So here I am in class, breastfeeding and taking notes in class. And it's just, I don't know, as I'm listening to me, all I can hear is struggle, fight, strive, struggle, fight, strive.
I see you're old school, because now if you get a splinter, that's it. I'm done for the week.
No, but I mean, I was taking my daughters to class with me at one point because my husband got stationed in Korea. And my first year of law school, no one was allowed to work. It was a violation of the honor code to have a job. So there were times when I'd have to take my kids to school with me, and my classmates would have them down the hall sometimes. They're just babies. I think Christine may have been about 8, Carrington 4 at the time. And they were really great, though. But I know that sometimes I get home and I would touch a book and Carrington would start crying. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's my fault. I should have done it in order. So I went through law school, and Jorge came back from Korea. The military said that he would be able to choose where he came once, because he didn't. It was not with family. It was like remote. So they actually had a place that needed him, the MEP station at Little Rock, because I was at school in Little Rock. And instead of sending him to Little Rock, the Army sent him to Oklahoma City. So we spent the next 2 years traveling back and forth over the weekends.
How convenient.
Yeah. Then once I finally graduated and we moved here and I was studying for the bar, some people at church called and said, well, one of the sisters is having problems with her child, and the doctors don't want her to leave the hospital and be home with her child. So will you let them come and stay with you for 2 weeks? And so the 2 weeks turned into about 3 or 4 months with the mom. Wow. And then the daughter, it ended up being 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And we kept her. And then she eventually was adopted by a beautiful family. Like, can you adopt me too? A beautiful family. And so we have that experience with family, family extension. And that's part of being in the military. You go from country to country. As a child, I was born at Fort Worth, Texas, lived in Germany and so forth, and just been around a lot of different cultures and just making new family everywhere I had to go. So it's nothing. And so the Christian that we adopted and that baby girl are able to communicate with each other when they want to. And we are able to also communicate with her. And I love her. I love their family. It's beautiful. And I'm trying to answer you, but I feel like I'm just going on and on. So just stop. We didn't ask you all that, lady.
We are here to see the human side of the people that are out there
that's
asking
all you
for
get. Nothing else. No.
Yes. So, well, let's bring it down. Then let's talk about being a district court judge. What does your legal background look like? Like, what areas of law have you practiced?
Family law, abuse, neglect, dependency, divorce, juvenile delinquency, misdemeanor, small claims, consumer protection. I got voluntold to handle estate.
Voluntold. I like that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
And I
Would
started out.
would you say you specialize in one area over the
See,
others?
that's the thing.
Oh, okay. What are you doing
we don't
now?
specialize.
What are you doing right now as a career for a job?
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Really? I'm an assistant attorney general.
Yeah.
Yeah. I handle condemnation actions.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my friends helped me.
Mhm. So you're doing real estate type stuff right now.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm handling
Yeah.
real estate.
That's
Handling real estate easements and
Mhm.
those things
making sure that the citizens get a fair shake.
to the best of my ability.
To the best of your
within
ability.
my legal.
Well, they do call it practice for a reason.
Yes, they do.
It
Yes,
is.
yes,
It is.
yes.
Yeah.
Because no two cases, if you think about it, no two cases are the same.
And
so
they
you're
shouldn't
practicing,
be.
right? Right.
And they shouldn't be, because no two people are the same.
That's
Tell me
correct.
about
It's
it.
vary.
That's my approach on homelessness too.
Why district court judge? Why now? Because it's time.
Okay.
It's time.
Is this an open seat or is there an opponent?
I'm
in this
running
race?
against
They
a.
don't say their name, but
I'm running against a sitting
a
judge.
sitting judge. Okay,
Thank
so there
you.
is an incumbent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So why?
Why am I running against a sitting judge?
Or just why? I mean, why do it? I mean, your
I mean-
life. You're an attorney. You've got plenty of family to take care of. I mean, you've got lots of good things going on. Why do you want to complicate your life and be in the public eye?
I'm a servant.
Your husband's over here nodding a little bit, so I'm just going to call him out.
Well,
just a little
was
bit.
there a decision that you were like,
Years
"Oh, smokes,
ago.
that's the wrong decision. I don't agree with that," or did he do something that you didn't agree? He or she, I don't know.
Well, what I don't want to do is run afoul of any judicial standards.
Right.
And I say that because I want you to understand I'm not avoiding your question. I believe that the whole campaigning and questions is a job interview.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
don't take that lightly.
Well, we're not a Senate panel here. We're not going to try to get you, like, what is a woman? We're not going to ask you that kind of crap.
That's too hard to answer.
Well, no, the thing is, it's like the way when they interview these judges for federal judgeships or Supreme Court, it's almost like they want what they're trying to pull out. It's theater. They're trying to get that Supreme Court justice to say, this is how I'm going to
Right.
rule no matter what. It doesn't work that way.
Right. I
I
understand.
mean, I would hope that there's a thing like evidence that you read and
Right.
stuff.
Right.
I'm just hoping. But
Well, for me, years ago, I stood in front of the bench and told the judge, I want to be a judge.
okay.
And I didn't let go of that. And
Okay.
in my practice and the different ideas that I have based on my legal research and what I would want to do or thought should have been done as I was practicing,
Mhm.
told me that, well, in order to be able to do that, you'd have to be behind the bench,
Yeah.
Right.
not in front of it. And that has not ever left me. And actually about a week before I filed, I got a phone call from someone. And based on that conversation, it just reignited. In fact, my husband and I were supposed to be on a cruise. We were supposed to be on a cruise leaving Friday and coming back today, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Where was
And
the cruise to?
We were going to the Caribbean,
Come on.
and we
all
just
right.
didn't.
Mm.
We just didn't
In the
check
middle
in.
of winter? That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about,
We
girl.
just didn't
You
check
speaking
in.
my
We
language.
just didn't show up. I had no intention of filing until about a week before I filed. And so when you say why now, really, it's because it's time. It is time,
Okay.
and here I am.
I love that you want to sit behind the bench rather than in front of it. That's a place of, and I know, the gravity of that. It's like, I feel I'm capable, which is a big thing, competent. I feel like it's within my realm of influence and expertise to be the one that says guilty, not guilty, that says yes, that says no. And I mean, not to wax overly spiritual, but that's really, okay, I'm going to wax spiritual. It's an anointing, a calling. I'll use that word. And that is, but I love that you made that statement, because, I want to be in the position where I'm not the one arguing to change. I'm the one who is activating and initiating that change. So,
Well, thank you. Thank you for that.
you're welcome.
Exactly.
I might
what did
look
you
at the
say?
candidates and say, why are you doing this? You must be crazy. But having run for office, myself and Laura, I think you get to a point where it's just like, I need to help.
Absolutely,
this.
because it is time consuming.
Yeah.
It is, you lose a lot of sleep. There's a
Mhm.
lot of preparation and there's a lot of pain. But at the end of the day, when I say because it's about you, it really is.
Yeah.
I've researched law, I've looked at case law, I've been there with my clients and hugged them and cried with them and lost sleep. And I just believe that if I am in the position to make the decision, and hopefully I can help
Yeah.
more than hinder. And that's what I want to do. That when you talk about being spiritual, that was always my prayer in practice was I want to help, not hinder.
Yeah.
Help, not hinder. And just that's why I was up at 3 in the morning researching, because I wanted to do my best for individuals, for
Right.
people. And it didn't matter if I was court appointed. It didn't matter if it was somebody that was pro bono.
Mhm.
And I just know that what I would want if I were in any of those people's situations, that's what I wanted to give. And as a judge, this is just what I just want
Yeah.
to serve and be able to help. I practice in foster care often. And my experience at that time was arguing for the children who couldn't be with their mothers and fathers to at least be with family, because oftentimes they were in foster care. And sometimes it was because family didn't have what was called adequate resources. But then I found out that sometimes foster care parents could get financial assistance.
That's right.
And I didn't understand why family couldn't get financial assistance.
That was something that I brought up to the legislature. When a child gets taken from the home, the parent still gets the resources. The resources don't follow the child, and that needs to change.
And sometimes my clients would also, because obviously in North Carolina, it's a parent's responsibility to pay for their children, to pay child support. And so my clients were indigent, and I was appointed to them because they were indigent to work services. And they should have had to work services if that's what the court ordered. But then they also had to pay child support. And they also had to pay child support because those were their children. But it was very difficult for them to complete the services and pay child support and then get the children back. So I understand that. But in the meantime, you might have family members who could help. And there were some times when family wasn't there. And I understand that. But my issue and major concern during those years was when I'd see family come. And for whatever reason, those children weren't able to go back with family.
So let's talk about the job. The job. So, like, what does a district court judge do?
Well, the district court judges,
besides sitting there and ruling and judging me, you know,
Putting on
they're not judging you.
pretty doilies around their little.
They're not. The judges listen to. There's the misdemeanors, infractions. There are custody cases and divorce proceedings with equitable distribution, divorce. Judges preside. Are you asking me specifically about the types of cases that judges?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It was an open-ended.
I get it. No,
question.
Well, what does the job look like for you, basically? So this. Tell me about the breadth or the variety of cases that you'll try.
Well, I might be able to preside over juvenile delinquency cases, possibly the abuse, neglect, and dependency cases, possibly family cases, even family cases where there's pro se individuals in divorce and each party is representing themselves, no attorney whatsoever.
Is that still allowed to happen?
No.
Yes,
Well, I hear how
You have a
expensive
right
divorce
to
is. Another
represent
reason why I
yourself.
haven't.
You
gotten
can
married,
represent yourself.
but-
You just
Yeah, you have a right to represent yourself.
Okay.
Cumberland County has the courtroom set up to the best of my knowledge. I do not believe it's changed since I went to the AG's office in 23, where a judge presides and it's just pro se, be pro se. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Mhm.
And then you have divorce where people
Well,
are
who's
represented.
got the fire hose to keep the combatants apart? Like, that's the judge doesn't do that. I don't.
No, that you have the assistance of the sheriff's office, and people are very respectful when they come to court. So that's not necessary.
Can I take my phone in
Been
court?
watching too much TV.
I do
Can you
watch
take
a lot.
your telephone?
Take my
to court?
telephone in court.
no.
I'm asking the future judge, man.
Cumberland County still allows people to bring the phone into the courthouse, but don't let that phone ring in court.
Right.
Phone's
Okay.
gonna probably end up at the bench.
Now, let me ask you a question, because this is always, it's funny that you bring that up to me, because I sit in court and I've done court watching and things like that. And like I bring a tablet to write on because I don't want to waste all the paper. They told me I'm not allowed to write on a tablet.
You've got one of those cool tablets like Peter has.
Yes.
Oh,
no
Christmas
electronics, they say. But I'm court watching. I'm just writing whatever. No electronics. Okay. This doesn't record anything, or it's just a piece of paper, literally. No electronics. So I have to print out paper, bring paperwork, fill out all of this stuff. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to court watch because I can't bring and write on something that's not trash.
Something that sounds like first world issue.
Yeah,
It
that's
is
more
such
like,
a
I
first world.
think
It's such a first world issue.
But we're asked to be there as a court observer, right?
Right,
You
yep.
have a thing, and maybe the policy hasn't kept up with
The
modern
times.
times. I mean,
Have you by any chance, if it please the court, may I?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Because I went
She
to the
would have
bailiff.
too. That's her. That's
Yes,
her.
that is
yeah,
my
that's-
nature.
That is,
I went to the bailiff and I said, hey, I wanted to show this to you. This is not a recording device or anything like that. It's just for me to write on. So no. And I said, can you ask the judge? And the bailiff went to the judge and said something. And she said, no. I said, okay.
interesting.
So I left. No court watch. I never went back.
well, we need to keep you away from court anyway. I don't know why you even volunteer.
Because
Who volunteers to
that.
go to court?
Don't tell anyone should be
Yeah.
at court.
No,
No,
ma'am,
people
not
should
me.
be coming to court and observing that.
Well, yeah,
tournament.
go.
no, you
People
have to
should
go.
come to
You
court.
should
That's-
observe and see what's going on so that you understand what's going on, the process, and you just learn. You might, oh my gosh,
I don't want
something.
to. That's
Why
like learning
not?
how the sausages get made. Let the lawyer.
Isn't
know
it
what,
you that
beautiful?
said you wanted to learn more? Be a court watcher.
And what's beautiful is that's your choice.
My words are.
If
coming
you
back
don't
to me.
want to go, then you don't have to go. But I believe that if you want to come, then the courtroom doors should be open for you to come and observe,
Agree.
regardless of whether you're a party or a witness. I mean, if we, rather than pay $12 or $20 for movies, you can go to the courthouse and learn how your government is working.
And some of them are quite interesting. But I mean, I understand not having a telephone because they don't want you recording. I guess that's what it is. But you can record either way.
Yes.
She fell
I
off.
still-
I see.
Okay.
I'm getting Jim over here.
Or even an iPad. But I don't really understand. There's a court transcript anyway.
I know I need my phone when
Is-
I go.
is
to
there a
court because
court
I'll do
reporter?
legal research on my phone real fast.
So-
But see, you as a lawyer are allowed. But those of us that are sitting court, even if we're not defendants or whatever like that, why are we not allowed?
Well, I believe that I would have to research it, but the last time I researched it, I know that there was some discussion about the judge's discretion
Mhm.
and factual basis for not allowing people into the courtroom. Maybe that would be the same, and I don't want to guess.
Okay.
But based on my reading, it was my understanding that there are parameters that are supposed to be considered, safety considerations, and that's the one that I'll stop on because that's the
Okay.
one that I remember the
Okay.
most. But
So when I come to your
been
courtroom, I'll
familiar
be
with it.
like, I've got my remarkable. It
I'd be
doesn't
okay
record
with
it.
it.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah, let's not
bring your
indict her
friends.
before she
No.
takes the bench. let's let her get there first.
I'm
And,
joking. Yes, let's see. Remember a few
I just-
minutes
I
ago,
just think we
wasn't
need to-
saying
yes.
anything because let me make sure my judicial standards.
But I mean,
said
I just
wanna-
think that the courts need to get up with the times.
Yeah.
There are.
well,
and that's the reason why it's important for people to come to the courts
Mhm.
so that you can know what's going on and then address those issues in the appropriate places, right?
Mhm.
Because it's not just the judicial branch, is it?
Mhm.
So that might be something that maybe the legislative branch, and I giggle because what are they doing right now? So I don't know if I wanna
not
add
their job.
anything else, add
I
anything
think
else.
it's at the judge's discretion. It's kind of like a teacher in the classroom management. Like, how
Right.
do you handle your room? And as long as it's within standards, then
I just
change things up.
you don't realize how much paper. It's a paper for each person in the courtroom. So you end up with like 20 pieces of paper. I don't want to be shuffling around 20 pieces of paper. I just
Well,
don't.
Those paper companies aren't going to stay in business without. So
Bummer.
since we got our paperless
Dunder
tablets.
Mifflin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not my problem. Not my circus. Not my monkeys.
That's actually one of our producer Jim's favorite television shows is The Office. Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Okay. See, Brenee,
Yes.
tell us about your campaign. Or do you do donations when you're on your, I don't know. Can we donate to judges? I mean, how does a person contact you? How do they donate to your, tell us all about it. Where do they send their money? Write your checks out now.
I actually have a website.
Okay.
It's www.electorozco, which is OROZCO.com.
Okay.
I have articles. I have videos there. And there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
So we'll make sure that Jim give a note to
Yes,
put that up
he's
on the
having a
screen
note.
so that we can see, because we're having technical difficulties again.
Okay.
So-
And I've just been very nervous.
Why?
You've
You thought
done
I was gonna
well.
fight? Okay, let's talk about the first time we met. Where did we meet?
We met outside of the North Branch
North
Library.
Regional.
North
And it was
Regional
after
Branch
a
Library.
candidate execution or
Yes.
forum.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was not an execution.
It should have been.
Well, oh my gosh. And I remember saying, I want to help you write some questions. We talked for 15 or 20
Well, that
minutes.
was the forum where I was asking questions, but it was out of a bowl.
Yes.
So I had no choice. I just had to,
Yeah.
and I was like, no, I don't like this.
Folded.
We definitely
But
saw
you did a
some
very good
room.
job.
And that's what I appreciated in our conversation was you saw as a citizen, you're seeing that this is really not helpful the way we treat candidates right now. We need to ask them. My opinion is we need to ask them difficult questions. If they can't handle cross-examination, then they don't deserve our vote.
And
Then they won't show up to the forums.
That's
But
fine.
see, here's
Show
the
'em this
thing.
week.
Here's the thing. When it comes to
Did you say
to
that?
I
the
did.
interviews, I wholeheartedly believe they are job interviews.
Yeah.
And that's why, I want to hear an answer to the question.
So if you
However-
were an animal, what animal would you be and why?
Whatever it was, it'd be a Gemini.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know
but,
what it is, but I know it's fine.
But when I was thinking about even coming here, okay, well, you are a judicial candidate. Your standards are not the same
Yeah.
as a person who's running for county commissioner or city council. You cannot bring disrepute upon the bar.
Or politics. You can't bring politics into it.
I'm going to just go into, right. You have to, for me, avoid the appearance of impropriety.
Yeah.
Avoid,
I love that.
This is what I will do before I even ever meet the people, let alone hear the case. Because we don't want the public to distrust the judiciary.
Yeah.
Right.
So I can't say, well, I'm running against this person because, and which is why I kind of froze when you asked, well, why? Well, because it's time, it's now.
Okay.
And I didn't want to be disingenuous or insincere, but what I don't want to do is bring disrepute upon my profession
That's good.
inadvertently or purposefully for that matter. And I believe I am a professional and I want to be professional and I want to be respectful, because what I don't want is someone to say, I have a problem in my life and I need to file a lawsuit, but I don't want to go to that courthouse. I don't trust them. I don't think that they're going to listen to me. I don't think that it's going to matter whatsoever, because that should never be true. You have a problem. You can't take the law into your own hands, right? You take your issues to the courts.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the other problem I have with the way we elect judges, well, I have a few issues. There's many issues the way we elect judges, but the problem is you're running against, in your case, you have an incumbent judge. There are other races. There are people running against seated judges already. The toes you step on today are going to be connected to the ass you're going to kiss tomorrow.
That's true.
And they're going to take it out on, well, and this is a legitimate fear. This is what I think keeps good. What I've established is just because lawyer does not equal good judge. Okay.
Okay.
Somebody might have done it for 30 years. Okay, cool. You practiced, but they only did like one thing. And in your seat, you're going to be rotated, right? It can be, you're going to get flavor of the week. Now, do you sit like in family court, like for a week at a time, or is it just that day you'll have different kinds
Would
of?
be definitely depending on what the chief district court judge decided, because the
But
chief
it's gonna
district court
change.
judge is the administrator of the
Okay.
judges. But fortunately, in Brenee Orozco's history, Brenee Orozco has practiced in small claims magistrates court. And as much as I hated having to practice without having staff, I had to do everything. So if I had a criminal case, I had to study that law myself. If there is ever a person who would argue for an expansion of the law, that would be Brenee Orozco for an expansion of the law. I have practiced family, domestic custody, domestic violence, restraining orders, and all of those things. And as an assistant attorney general, I've had to handle appeals, criminal appeals. So whatever that flavor of the week may be, would not be new to me.
Right.
Because even though I practiced in abuse, neglect, and dependency from 2008 to 2023, as I just said, I was doing other things also. So I've never just done one thing when I was in practice. And I'm grateful for that because it allowed me to have a world view, a larger view of the issues when I was in any one court, how they all tie together.
Okay. Well, so going back to experience as an attorney, like I said, just because you're an attorney doesn't make a good jurist, but because there's other things that we need our judges to understand and to practice as far as the relationship between district and superior court, what cases they should hear or not hear. I've certain things that have come to my attention, and I hate to keep harping on this one example, but
yeah, you're doing that. That's one thing may have happened.
Yeah, no, it happened. I'm not.
Okay.
So the thing is, I want, especially for somebody that's pro se, maybe indigent, they got the best example I have is if you get evicted in magistrate court, you probably don't have the money. You're probably not in a great circumstance, but for you to go to a district court and have your case dismissed before it's even heard as an appeal, I have a problem with that. It shouldn't be the discretion of a judge to just say, well, I don't like the reason you're appealing, so out. So that my concern is how the judicial system affects the most vulnerable of our population, and are they being given due process? Are they being heard? I don't care if they get found guilty, like if it gets heard and then it's still the same outcome, but give them the 5 minutes.
You're looking for the fairness.
Yeah, just hear them out. Don't shut people down. Let them be heard.
I don't think that's unreasonable, and I'm happy to say that's it's my understanding of, and I'm picking up my phone because it's where I pulled up the judicial code.
No phones in here. No phones in here. Don't make me take that phone.
It's my understanding that that's what everyone is supposed to expect. So I don't think that your position's unreasonable based on my understanding of what's required in the judicial code. Now, your specific scenario, I don't know what happened, if you made it up or anything. I'm going to treat what you said as far as what you think should happen. Life is interesting enough.
I don't have to make much up in this life of mine.
What I'm saying,
but we don't know what was going on behind the scenes.
Right,
we don't know.
And
one person's rendition of what happened.
I'm not sure what was going on either, but Peter was guilty.
Yeah, I was most likely.
But I do know that as it relates to your main position, which is people should be treated fairly, regardless of whether they are indigent, regardless of whether they're represented. I believe that's what the judicial code requires. So I know that that's what I would give.
Right. Well, the way I've put it is that myself and Laura and Pastor Josh, we're kind of in the network of people that know how to get things done.
Yeah.
Okay. But what if, the last I checked, but does it require having a Peter in their life to get the proper, like if somebody comes to me about a zoning issue or something because of real estate background, why does it take a Peter to get it done? Why can't it just work for everybody as evenly as possible? And that goes to the judicial for me. So
I understand.
All right. So thank you for being here this evening.
Tell us again what your website is one more time.
It is electorozco.com.
Perfect.
And we will share that.
Yep.
So if
on
anybody feels compelled to put 5 on it,
Jim,
I think you'd appreciate it. That's up to Jim. We are going to hop off the live and take a break for right now, and we're going to return with a fresh session.
It was such a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Much.
Thank you for joining us. Have a good evening.
Thank you.